Breaking news coming in. It is the MHA, that is the Ministry of Home Affairs, that has granted Enforcement Directorate approval to prosecute the then Chief Minister of Delhi, Arvind Kejriwal, in the alleged money laundering case revolving around the Excise scam. Earlier, it was Delhi LG V.K. Saxena who had given his nod that the prosecution for Arvind Kejriwal can be done. Since last November, the Supreme Court in an order had said that the ED has to take prior sanction before prosecuting public servants. Arvind Kejriwal had then moved the Delhi High Court, saying ED charge sheet against him and others are illegal because there is no prior sanction of the authorities that was taken before filing the prosecution complaint. In December 2024, the Enforcement Directorate had written a letter to DLG saying that they want him to grant permission, so granting of the sanction should be given since Arvind Kejriwal is the kingpin and the key conspirator. This is big news coming in from the Ministry of Home Affairs. My colleague Munish Pandey is now joining me on the story. Munish, this is big news, especially given the fact that the Delhi elections are just around the corner. This nod that has been given by the Ministry of Home Affairs to the Enforcement Directorate to prosecute Arvind Kejriwal, what implications will this have?
Well, Ashwarya, this will have far-reaching implications in the run-up to Delhi elections, especially. The Enforcement Directorate had filed multiple charge sheets naming Arvind Kejriwal as accused in the case, but recently, in an order, Supreme Court had mandated that the ED should have prior prosecution sanction if they want to start trial in this case. Earlier, it was V.K. Saxena, the LG of Delhi, who had given his nod to the prosecution sanction, but now the Ministry of Home Affairs has given the prosecution sanction against Arvind Kejriwal. It essentially means that the trial in this case can start. But the timing is going to be extremely important because the Aam Aadmi Party is going to question the timing of this sanction. But as far as Enforcement Directorate and the Central Bureau of Investigation is concerned, both the agencies wanted prosecution sanction in the case. It was important for the Enforcement Directorate because they had at least filed 3 charge sheets naming Arvind Kejriwal as the kingpin in the entire liquor scam case. Now, this means that the prosecution, after getting the prosecution sanction, the Enforcement Directorate will approach the court saying that they have a prosecution sanction against Arvind Kejriwal, who has been the kingpin and main conspirator of this alleged scam, and the trial should start in this case. At the very same time, because the elections are within few days, the Bharatiya Janata Party and the Congress Party, both the parties will be targeting Aam Aadmi Party, especially the former Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal, who has been named as accused in the case, and especially he has been named as a kingpin and key conspirator in the case. Ashwin.
Thank you, Munish, for giving us those details. R.P. Singh from the Bharatiya Janata Party is now joining me on the story. Mr. Singh, this is a big nod which is being granted by the Ministry of Home Affairs, but the Aam Aadmi Party will cry foul about it. They will say that this is being done because the Delhi elections are approaching.
Well, when they approached the court saying that on the technical ground they should not be allowed, what was that? So, basically they were trying to play with the law and then finding out the technical loopholes in the system to save his skin. And now the MHA has given a go-ahead to prosecute him. So he'll have to face the tune of the law. I mean, this is a very regular thing. Why should he make student cry out of this?
Mr. Singh, do you also believe that we will see the Aam Aadmi Party using this, the approval that has been given by the Ministry of Home Affairs, and they will play the victim card?
They have been playing victim card throughout, but how can they hide from the facts? The facts are glaring and facing them. They will have to answer the questions, and they'll have to face the court. And it's nothing that ED can do things on their own. It has to go by the court procedures, and then whatever MHA has done to facilitate ED to proceed the matter in the court.
Thank you. R.P. Singh, BJP spokesperson, now saying that it is the Aam Aadmi Party and its Supremo Arvind Kejriwal who will have to now respond to the law. It is the Ministry of Home Affairs that has granted Enforcement Directorate the approval to prosecute the former Chief Minister of Delhi, Arvind Kejriwal, in the alleged money laundering case. Munish, we will see the Aam Aadmi Party now playing the victim card. They will say that the timing when the nod has been given is something that the Aam Aadmi Party will definitely speak about. Going forward, if you can just explain to us the legalities, what will be the next step that the Enforcement Directorate will take? We'll try and reconnect with my colleague Munish. Big news that is coming in with regards to the national capital. Now, in the alleged money laundering case, it is the Ministry of Home Affairs that has granted the Enforcement Directorate the approval to prosecute former Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal in the alleged money laundering case revolving around the excise scam. Earlier, it was the Delhi LG, V.K. Saxena, who had given his nod to prosecute Arvind Kejriwal. Now, last November, it was the Supreme Court in an order which had said that Enforcement Directorate has to take prior sanction before prosecuting a public servant. Arvind Kejriwal had then moved the Delhi High Court, and when he had moved the Delhi High Court, in its affidavit, Arvind Kejriwal had said that the Enforcement Directorate charge sheet against him and others were illegal. I'm joined by my colleague Munish. Munish, one thing that the Aam Aadmi Party will definitely do is that they will play the victim card and they will say the timing of the prosecution is something which is coinciding with the Delhi elections. If you can break it down for us, legally, what is the next step that the Enforcement Directorate can take?
Well, Aishwarya, according to the Prevention of Money Laundering Act, earlier there was no need for the Enforcement Directorate to take prosecution sanction in any of the money laundering cases. When Enforcement Directorate had started investigating the case, remember there were multiple Aam Aadmi Party leaders who were arrested by the Enforcement Directorate in this case. Right from then Deputy Chief Minister Manish Sisodia, he was arrested by the Central Bureau of Investigation and later by the Enforcement Directorate. The same way Arvind Kejriwal, then Chief Minister of Delhi, he was also arrested by the Enforcement Directorate. But recently, a couple of months back, the Supreme Court had given an order in a case where it was mandated by the Supreme Court, where the Enforcement Directorate was also needed to get a prosecution sanction if they want a trial in any money laundering case. As far as this excise policy case was concerned, it was given a political color not only by the Aam Aadmi Party but also by the Bharatiya Janata Party. And multiple times, not only Arvind Kejriwal but also the other leaders of Aam Aadmi Party, including Sanjay Singh, Manish Sisodia and Atishi, the current Chief Minister of Delhi, they were saying that there was no scam, there was no illegality, but the Enforcement Directorate, time and again, in their multiple charge sheets in the case, they maintained that Arvind Kejriwal, the former Chief Minister of Delhi, was the kingpin and key conspirator of the case. In another news, there was a CAG report, and in the CAG report, it has been reportedly maintained that more than 2,000 crore of loss was suffered by the Delhi government because of this policy. There was a bribe of more than 100 crore rupees which was paid by the South Cartel to then leaders of Aam Aadmi Party, and this is the charge sheet which was filed by the Enforcement Directorate. Now, this prosecution sanction by the Ministry of Home Affairs essentially means that the trial in this case can start. Legally, the Enforcement Directorate will inform the trial court saying that they have a prosecution sanction, and now a trial can be started against Arvind Kejriwal, which means that the accused in this case will not only be Vijay Nair, who is a person connected with Aam Aadmi Party, but also the big leaders of Aam Aadmi Party, including Manish Sisodia and Arvind Kejriwal. So it is going to have a far-reaching legal implication, but as you rightly pointed out, Aishwarya, this will have a far-reaching political implications also, because still not only the Bharatiya Janata Party, but recently even Rahul Gandhi, the Congress leader, in his speech maintained that it was the Congress party which raised the objections on this alleged excise scam. And this is true also because Aam Aadmi Party was the first party who filed a complaint saying that there has been a scam in the entire excise policy, which was changed by the Aam Aadmi Party, and BJP is also going to jump into this fight.
Thank you, Manish, for giving us those details. The BJP definitely will be jumping into this fight. My colleague Shreya is also joining me on the story. Shreya, this is big news coming in, given the fact that Delhi elections are just around the corner, and Aam Aadmi Party, especially Arvind Kejriwal, since day one has been saying that there is no scam, there are no allegations, but given on the back of the CAG report, which points towards the fact that close to 2,000 crore rupees, that's the kind of loss to the exchequer that one can see. And now with the MHA giving Enforcement Directorate the approval to prosecute, we will see things moving very fast.
Absolutely, so Aishwarya. The MHA's grant to the Enforcement Directorate to prosecute then Delhi CM Arvind Kejriwal will definitely have political ramifications ahead of the election season. Since the last November, the Supreme Court in an order had said that the ED will have to get a prior sanction, followed by which the entire process was taken up. And now finally, after a 3-month hiatus, we are seeing that this entire case has actually been forwarded and the prosecution has been granted. Now, we will definitely be seeing politics playing up. Most of the opposition parties, we will be making this against Arvind Kejriwal in all likelihood. We will also in all likelihood see Aam Aadmi Party use the timing of it to attack the BJP, suggesting that this is nothing but a political showdown that they are using the investigative agency against. So definitely the political heat will turn up, but big development ahead of the political season against Arvind Kejriwal.
Right, thank you, Shreya, for giving us those details. Just before Delhi goes for elections, big news which is coming in. The Ministry of Home Affairs has granted Enforcement Directorate the approval to prosecute former Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal in the alleged money laundering case.